You all start coming on in. We've got a couple of difficulties going on here a little bit. Just want you to know our feed for my music is a little bit lacking today. Trying to get it right. Gotta thank God for the opportunity, trying to do more than one thing. So just, if you'll be patient with me, we'll get it done. We thank God for everybody. Wait a minute, I just messed up real bad. Oh, shucks. Had everything in place and hit the wrong button. Try it again. Boy, when you're old, you're just old. Ain't a whole lot more to be done for it. Is it working? Let me see, make sure that part's going. Let me see if yeah, we got it coming. We got it coming now. Thank God. Didn't take that much more to do. So let's go forward with that part. And we ain't got no music. We don't have music. Alexa is sick today. I don't know what's wrong with her. Sometimes things just don't go right. But I'm going to keep on rolling along. Let me see. Sometimes you could just Alexa.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now.
Poor baby.
Let's try a little later.
Poor baby. We thank God for the chance. But anyway, so we're going to have to go without the music today, but we got a special guest calling in. If you go on the city website, you'll see an ad for just look at the City of Savannah and go to the official page, official website for City of Savannah. And about the first thing you'll see is a notice of a 5th District meeting workshop that we're going to be talking about momentarily. And so I've got a special guest calling in, and we're going to put him on now. Amen. At the top of the program. Again, let me apologize. No theme music tonight. Let's Mr. Fields. Hey, Mr. Fields, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Okay, all right. Well, I've queued you up. You're actually on program. You're actually on air at the radio station in Jessup, Georgia. And I'm giving a shout out to my brothers over at FCI Jessup and the mother of the Church of Little Missionary Baptist Church, Mother Barbara Wilson, and Mother Lucille Collins, the widow of our chairman emeritus, and all the other mothers of the church. And shout outs to WTLD, WSLT, and WKVQ, our radio stations, as well as all things relevant, the radio media platform, and our Black Media Network. So I got my little pieces in, all my pieces in. But you called me the other day, basically saying you wanted to air your disappointment.
Correct.
Yeah, at that situation. So, Mr. Field, give us your whole name and where you live in.
my full name is Sheldon Fields,
Yes, sir.
and I'm a resident in the Tatumville community.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been staying in this area for over, I would say, for over 15 years.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Well,
And I attend the community meetings every month.
every month.
Every month.
So you're an interested community person.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And you were saying you had some concerns and a bit of disappointment.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. So
This started. My questions are being ignored
mm-hmm.
by the leader of this district, and it began June the 7th at the Liberty City Community Center. And when I stood up to ask questions, she said that she will only accept 5 people.
Okay.
I wasn't included. I wasn't included.
How long was this meeting?
Well, this meeting was over, I would say over an hour and 45 minutes.
Good Lord. And they didn't they didn't take but 5 questions?
When she saw me stand, she just made a statement, only 5 questions.
And this was at the end of the meeting?
Yes.
So you're talking about over an hour and a half, and you all couldn't ask questions until the end, and then only 5 questions could be asked.
Correct.
Well, let me tell you something about how I feel about those kind of things. And you and I haven't fleshed this out together. I want everybody to understand. Much of this is going to be our first conversation on much of this item. He did give me a little overdue, but I didn't want him to go into everything until he got actually on air. So, of course, I wasn't there. I did get calls from people other than yourself, sir. And they said it appeared to have been relatively rude. And let us be accurate. The meeting was called by Estella Shabazz, who is the alderperson for the 5th District.
Correct.
Okay. And so it is that person who actually has said that
only 5 questions.
Only 5 questions. And
only 5.
And she didn't answer yours.
No. When she saw me standing up, she said only 5.
Oh, she hadn't said only 5 before?
No, she never said that.
Okay.
But she let someone ask a question in regards to horses.
Horses?
Yes, she acknowledged him.
Horses?
Yes, he was talking about horses.
In 5th,
and I said, Lord have mercy.
In the 5th District?
He was saying that the children should be taught how to ride horses, and I don't think that was important.
Okay. In the 5th District.
In the 5th District.
Okay. So Mr. Fields, you let me slow down. So, you know, I've lived in the 5th District basically since I was 3 years old. I'll be 73 in September.
Mm-hmm.
I celebrated my 3rd birthday in the 5th District. We moved off the east side.
Yes,
a lady named Miss Vasta called me. We were one of the few black people in 1953 who had a phone. And a lady named Miss Vasta off the east side that we used to live next to called me to wish me a happy birthday on my 3rd birthday. And I've lived in the 5th District ever since. I mean, I think 2 or 3 years, when me and Sheila first got married, now that I thought about it, I lived on the east side, but we didn't stay married long that time. We broke up and then we got back together later. So I guess all but about 2 or 3 years of my life, I've been a 5th District. I don't remember us having horses, seeing horses, riding horses. I think an old man came through one time with a mule, and Nathan and my brother and them were playing with the man with the mule. But horses in a fifth district meeting is a question that takes up 20% of the questions that's going to be allowed.
Correct.
And
That's I was upset about that. I said, now, horses doesn't have anything to do with the questions I want to ask.
I got you. And
So, June the 20th, I attend Tatumville Community Meeting, and it seems that she was ignoring me again.
oh, you've seen her? You've seen her again?
Again, June the 20th,
Wow.
at the Tatumville Community Center.
Okay. You think she's just got it's something between you and her? Or
No, it's nothing between me and her. It's just that I ask very difficult questions
okay.
because the elderly people, she uses big terms that they don't understand,
I got you. I got you.
and they will fall for anything.
Well, are they? Because I don't see him falling for anything right now. Be honest with you, the words I'm getting is people are frustrated.
Yes, because the taxes done went up,
Oh yeah, the taxes going up crazy,
and she voted for the taxes to go up.
and it's on the agenda again right now. And what they're doing
They
is,
will be going up again.
oh no, they're finna go through the roof right now. They're about to go through the roof. I've done this on this show. I've showed them some of our new variations on our properties. Not so much on the house we live in. I think we got Stevens Day on that, but on all other properties that I own and properties that I rent, the people who are renting properties are going to be hit hard. They're going to be hit
Correct.
hard, and the people who own properties that are not homesteads are going to be hit hard. They're just going to may as well get ready. One of my pieces of property, the value from the old value, we paid just under $1,000 for all of our taxes for a year, and that property has gone up from just under $1,000 to $1,700. In other words, it went up about 65% in 1 year. As a matter of fact, later in this program, I'm probably going to hold up that for my show and tell.
And I just wanted to ask a few simple questions, but she refused to answer them. If you don't mind, I could tell you the questions now.
Sure, go ahead.
One of the questions was, why did you vote for the taxes to be raised 3 times? She could not give me an answer.
Well, they're about to vote again. They got to have 3 sessions where they ask from the public. They call public meetings, and 3. And they had one at City Council on day before yesterday. I opened City Council with prayer, but I didn't get to pray for the entire City Council. Now, this is the 3rd time. Let me tell you why. When I go up and Alicia Miller Blakely, it's her time to have a minister come, she generally calls me, and this is the 3rd time that I've gone up there. And I tried not to say anything about it the first 2 times, but a young man even pointed out to me in the parking lot. He said, I saw that Linda Wilder Bryan, Dietrich Leggett, and Mr. Purdy, while you were being announced to pray, that they got up and left their seats and left the dais. You know, that place where they sit.
Disrespectful.
So, well, that's true. But that's the 3rd time they've done that. Okay, so this is not by accident or by appointment or something they got to go do. Um, this is their design, and you're right. It's disrespectful, but let me say this: if you don't want me to pray for you, I don't have to. If you don't want to be a part of the prayer that I pray, you don't have to. But be sure to understand, I pray to God, and God hears me when I pray. And if you refuse to be willing to hear that prayer that's sincere and actually supportive of your efforts, because I pray for the city council and the mayor even acknowledged these times I've been there and said positive things, even though I'm supporting his opponent. These people have no decorum. They have no decorum, and that's why they're not going to repeat on that council. And sad as it is to say, and I mentioned this to you the other day, um, and we hugged and everything. Me and my cousin, Estella Sabaz, is my blood cousin. I've supported her and Yosef, her husband, in every endeavor. Yosef came to my 40th pastoral anniversary celebration. We are still going to be family. That's just the way it is. I'm not supporting her to continue in this office. Now, I know that sounds drastic, but my mother is a civil rights icon. She raised us to use judgment. And my judgment right now is that Robert Bryant will be better for the overall community. Now, has she been good at her job at times? Yes, she's done some real, but I think she's somewhat lost her way. Dr. Harris with Sylvan Terrace, Dr. Jones with Fowler Park, and so many others have decided to, and these are people who actually supported her efforts for years and over election cycles. So it is kind of a sad thing, but black folks need to become astutely aware that the process of politics is that you have to vote for those who will protect your interests. And
Correct.
of course, you can't. That she's not going to be able to protect your interests if you're not able to even voice your interests to her.
Because I asked her the second question. I said, "What must the elderly do? Pay their taxes or pay for their medications?" She still ignored my question.
Lord have
They
mercy.
have to make a decision. She
Yeah,
got angry.
Lord have mercy.
Now you putting your constituents in a bad situation.
Well, as these taxes go up, what a lot of people are not thinking, a lot of people think that every elderly person owns a property they live in, but a lot of elderly people are renting. And rents in Savannah are going through the roof. Now, it is not illegal in the state of Georgia for a city to exercise its right to use some form of rent control. In most cities up north, they have rent control. You've been in a house X number of years, your landlord can't simply price you out. But over and over now, we're getting cases, because I'm a pastor, people coming to me when they're in distress. And we're getting cases where someone's paying $1,200 rent, and the landlord comes and tells them, well, your rent's not going to be $1,600, $1,700, $1,800. One lady, her rent went up $600. The average person can't absorb that type of increase.
No,
You know.
they're on Social Security.
Oh, Scott, yeah. Social
And
Security.
after I asked her that particular question, she responded and she told me to address her by doctor.
Sir?
She told me to respond to her by saying doctor.
Well, what did you call
So
it? What,
I said, Your title is more important than your constituents.
Oh, okay. But
Again,
I got a question. I got a question. So what did you refer to her as?
well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Reverend Smalls.
Please.
I when a person when I catch them in lies
Oh.
and things of that nature, and you're supposed to be holier and thou, I really don't have any respect for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I just said Shabazz.
Okay. You just said Shabazz. All right.
I
Well,
said Shabazz because I caught Shabazz in several lies.
I got a difficulty. No, no, no. Listen, because I'm a very honest person.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
sir.
So,
I'm willing to listen.
well, here's the thing, Mr. Fields. You haven't called me doctor yet tonight, and I do have a PhD now, but I'm not gonna stop you from your comments based on the fact that you don't call me Doctor Small. I don't. I say I don't. I don't get that. Or even Reverend Small. I don't get that. You can call me Mr. Small. I mean, I know I went to school. I got the degrees in some place on some wall somewhere. I think a couple of them, the PhD is not even on the wall. I left it in the package it came in because that's not pertinent.
But Reverend Smalls, I don't think you know who I am. I've been knowing you since I was a little boy.
What?
Yes, I've been knowing you for a long time. And I think that to her, her self-esteem is very low. But when you call her doctor, it makes her feel better. That's my opinion.
Well, I use the term doctor so that people will know that I do have some
No.
degree.
I'm saying about her now.
No, I'm just saying I use it so people can know I have some degree of competence, but it is not something that has any. It don't have any spiritual value at all. That Reverend Doctor thing, that won't get you in the gate. It's how you treat people.
Correct.
And to some degree, the point you make, if someone's not truthful, if someone's not honest, they're not fair, then it messes up that title thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've so now you have I think the only people you got running in that district is Robert Bryant and Shabazz.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'm better say Dr. Shabazz. So and you're not going to have you supported Shabazz before?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
But I've learned too much about her tactics. I feel that the fifth district has been, hoodwinked.
Well, let me say this up front. I'm an equal opportunity type person, and this show is going to have to be an equal opportunity. If someone out there is listening and you want to give another opinion, I'll give you a few minutes when me and Mr. Fields gets off, and you can say why Mr. Field and I are wrong right now, and why we shouldn't have this opinion. But I am on my way as soon as the show is over to speak at, more likely to speak at Bernetta Lanier's.
Okay. I just have two more things to say, and I will, let you close it out.
Yes, sir.
My last question was, what have you accomplished in the 12 years you have been in office? I was ignored.
She didn't answer?
No.
Oh.
She picked up her pocketbook and walked out.
Wait, well, stop now. You asked a question.
Correct.
She didn't answer you.
No.
She picked up her pocketbook and left.
And left. And she put her business cards outside. And she told her young lady, please take them on the inside.
Mm. Well, I mean, what good is a business card if you're standing there? You could answer the question.
Thank you.
Why would I call you if you won't answer the question? It don't make sense. They don't go together. But anyway, Mr. Fields, I said I would give you this platform, and I've actually stayed on the subject longer than I intended, but you were informative, and you were very clear.
I am supporting Robert Bryant for the 5th District.
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage others to be to the polls November the 7th.
Yes, sir.
If your rent goes up, it's because of taxes. If your mortgage note goes up, it's because of taxes.
Oh, it's gonna go up. And those
Remember,
and
in
of those,
November,
everybody who's
things
paying,
went up.
yes, sir, everybody who's paying taxes, if you don't have homestead exemption, and you should get it if you're buying a house, you should get homestead exemption. It will freeze it. Now, the homestead exemption, if you apply now, first of all, you can't apply now. You got to wait till
to September.
you got to wait till January.
Mm.
Okay, it's got to be between January and April, I believe, and it doesn't kick in until the next year. So whatever they do to you this year you're going to end up paying that money next year. That's just fact.
I want the people to remember why they are paying this money because of our aldermen.
All
at
right.
the present time.
Yes, sir.
It's time to make a change.
I hear you loud and clear, Mr. Fields. Maybe the
And
Lord.
I appreciate your interview.
Well, the Lord be out here. We'll get a chance. Let me see. Before I let you get off, let me make sure I don't have any other statements on this question. I might not be able to get. I got a few, so let me see. Well, actually, Robert Ryan's watching, and Chuck Fegan is saying this will be 3 straight years of tax increases, and I see him, old friend of mine. I did not support him, but he's on this with us tonight. Wade Herring, a man who ran against.
For the last 12 years, the 5th District has been ignored.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of seem like everybody's saying it. Robert Bryan says we have lost simple decorum and the ability to respect each other regardless of differing philosophies. And Mogul JB says, yes, sir, she's been nothing but a blockage to black progress. I'm going to disagree with that. Let me tell you why.
Well,
no, let me.
Reverend Smalls, when she's in the community, she presents herself as an African American. When she's down to the city hall, she presents herself as one of those other people.
Other people, okay. Well, let me finish this thing on Mogul JB, okay?
Okay.
And I want to read this because it's him. This is not me. This is him. Yes, sir. She's been nothing but a blockage to black progress. She stopped us from getting, our restaurant open on Montgomery Street. Lord have mercy. I'm a commercial building. Even though we found the right way to do it, then she changed the square footage from 2,000 to 5,000 square foot. Just so we cannot reapply. She's bad. Brother Mogul, let me say this, and this grieves me, but I need to say something to you because I'm a very fair man. I'm a very fair man. For at least 8 years, Estella Shabazz was a champion arguing for minority participation. They fought her. They finally passed something with so many tricks in it that it never brought forth the effect she was trying to get. She fought as a champion. I can say this without no hesitation. For minority participation, this actually happened. But, and that's where the problem is. But for the last 4 years, she has not been who she had been. For the last 4 years, she has not been as accessible or as reasonable with the folk in the community. I got a call about 2.5 years ago from one of the ministers who served with me, Dr. Betty Jones. She's on here tonight. And she was distraught. And she was just kind of wringing her hands. She said, Pastor Small, Dr. Shabazz said that she would come and have a meeting with us if we submit the questions in writing before the meeting. And she said, it's insulting to me that she would come up and try to rig things and get at this late date after we've been back and forth and back and forth, and she's come to us for things, we've gone to her for things. She said, I don't know what's happened to her. Now, Dr. Jones is actually on here now. She called me. Like I said, she is on staff at Litway Missionary Baptist Church. She has a PhD. She's a great minister, not good. She's a great minister, great servant of the community, loves Fowler Park, and have been a warrior. And at the end of that conversation, she said, this is how she said it. I know she's your cousin, but I can't do this no more. I can almost, that's almost a direct quote. And I said, you don't have to, because I'm not going to be able to do it anymore either. And it was a sad day. And of course, Stella and I have talked. I love her dearly. But in this case, she's just wrong. And I have to give her credit for the fights that she's fought prior to now, and her husband, Yusef Shabazz. But right now, she's off key. And so we're going to need to make a change. Mr. Fields?
Yes?
Any quick closing remarks?
Well, it's time to make a change for the 5th District.
Thank you, sir. God bless you for calling in.
All right.
I appreciate you. And of course, I appreciate all of you who wrote comments, and I trust you were pleased with the fact that I was able to read some of your comments. This is not easy for me. We're not talking somebody, when you talk about Stella Shabazz, we're not talking about a family between her and Yusef. We're not talking about people who have not done it the right way. Okay, at times, don't let nobody fool you, and have suffered a lot of wrong. What they did to Shabazz in the newspaper was just Yusef was just wrong, So, Willie Shields said, but when they plotted against her on taking the mayor pro tem position from her, and I do remember that. That's when she flipped. Well, and to some degree, Willie, you're right. I read the letter that what's her name? I read the letter that Linda Wilder Bryant wrote to the mayor and turned in to the clerk of council, actually insisting that Stella be removed as mayor pro tem. I wanted to raise some sand about it. I actually wanted to raise some sand about it. Oh, Mogul, you said you wanted the number. If Henrietta put it up, is 695-7169 912-695-7169. Now, I did want to talk about these taxes. If he's getting ready to call in, I better do this part quick. If y'all hear the phone ring, I'll switch to him. But I want to show y'all something. A little show and tell. You see this here? Do you see that? The actual budget in 2021. You can see that on there? $470 million. Projected budget in 22. $565 million. So you see that now. Projected budget and the projected revenues. Those are projected revenues. I want to show you where the glitch is. If you can read, a balance sheet, you'll catch them every time. The actual budget for 2021, this is the actual money that they spent for the city, how much they took in, for the city, was 470. This is what they needed to just run things and stay on par. $470 million. The projected money right now, based on the digest, is basically $95 million. $95 million. Now, let me tell you what slickness does. And this is Jay Melder. This is what slickness does. Watch this. Now, the proposed budget for 2023 is $492 million. Okay, I want you to catch that now. What if the proposed that what they're thinking they're gonna need is $492 million. Now, if they're thinking they're gonna take in $565 million, then there's about $70 million that's just going to be out there for them to spend on any stupid thing they think of, except the weeping time. Oh, they're spending on waterworks. They're spending on the canal district, but they don't have a dime for the weeping time. Now watch this. Let me show you what the trick is. You see that thing right there? They're saying that the budget's going to go up 12.9%. But let me see if any of y'all know any math. If you've got 470, okay, and you're expecting this amount, the amount of money coming in is more than 20%. But they put the 12% because they're putting down how much they expect the spending to increase, just 12%. But the money's coming in is over 20-some%. So they can actually roll back the millage rate 20% and come up with the same amount of money it would take to do this budget. But they're not going. What they're proposing is to keep the millage rate at its present position. But they want to hoodwink us. Go back and look at the meeting. Jay Meldon listed 3 things that they would be able to do if they got this extra money. 3 things. One of them was in West Savannah, as far as drainage was concerned. Another one was in Liberty City, as far as drainage was concerned. The whole process of the things that he named, $2 or $3 million. They're gonna have another $70 or $80 million that they could pass out to their white partners and friends. I said it just like I mean it. Somebody said, "Well, the people that get the contracts don't have to be white. They're past behavior is the best predictor of future expectations." And African Americans have not ever gotten more than 1.5% of contracts and vending with the city ever. And under this great Slick Willie Van Johnson, that's what I call him, Van Slick Willie Johnson, it's less than it's ever been. It's less than 1.5%. We're getting messed over. a man, a company, corporation, finished a contract and decided to petition the city council, saying to them that they had received more value than the contract was worth. They finished the contract now. They were done. They came to the city council and asked them if they'd give them another $4.5 million for the contract they already finished and got paid for. When we trying to get money for one thing or another, the Greenbrier, the EOA, and things of that nature, WW Law, Boys Club, YMCA. I don't know. So. I don't know. Well, you know the budget. Savannah is swimming in revenue at this point. That's why they could tell you they got a budget at X number of dollars, projected budget at X number of dollars, and projected revenue at 70 some million dollars, 70 or 80 million dollars above their projected budget. Who you think gonna get that money? So when Alicia and Keisha and Bernetta are up there saying, no, we can roll it back. We don't have to charge these people all this money. Government is supposed to be designed to deliver services as efficiently as is humanly possible. That's why we have a government. One of my friends from way back when I was in construction, a guy named Ramsey was up there today, and he said in your prayer you used the word Commonwealth. He said that's the first time I've heard that word used in a long time. The strength of government and that word Commonwealth is in our historical records, in our constitutions, in the Commonwealth, to promote the general welfare of the collective, of the government, of the state, or the nation, or the city, or the school board, or the county. Dr. Robert Bryant says we're going to stop the smoke and mirrors. Robert asks again, Pastor, what is your dial-in number? My dial-in number is 912-695-7169. I had some other subjects I wanted to talk about, but you can call in right now if you're going to call. 912-695-7169. All right, is that you?
Hello?
Is this Mogul?
Yeah, JB, how you doing? James Bennett.
Okay, JB?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm glad you called in. You were saying, just a minute, let me make sure this is up. You were saying that you got turned down after you complied with all the rules, and that Dr. Shabazz was a part of that rejection?
My part, she was. So let me introduce myself a little bit to everybody. I'm James Bennett, aka JB, aka JB Cliff Savannah, aka JB Mogul. I own the largest amount of property right now within the 50 of a black person.
Mm.
I own properties off Westlake Avenue, which is Ocean Ridgeville Apartments. I own the 10 acres of land around it. I own the old.
You cut off. You were still talking and you cut off. JB? I don't know if I lost him. JB, we're still on. Are you there? I'm going to call him back. Y'all excuse me now, cause he was I'm gonna call him back. We're gonna probably run over a little bit on this show. Let's see. Okay, I tried. It looks like it's trying to call him. I don't. He might be like me. His battery might have gone out.
Your call is being answered by voicemail. The person you are calling is...
Try again.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now
Yeah, so,
you were saying you own
yeah, a lot of property in the Fifth District as a black man, right? And I've never, since I've been here, I've never had to sit down with Shabazz. She has never came to, we've been invited to the restaurant opening. She never shows up. So this is what happened. So we own a strip mall. It's a commercial plaza at 4501 Montgomery Street. It has 6 units. It was a derelict building that I rehabbed and made it to be a landmark in the community. So I decided to put a restaurant there. So I put a restaurant in Unit F, which is called Cool Vibes.
Oh yeah, I know you.
Yes. So a lot of people know the restaurant. And I gave the first restaurant to my wife, Wendy, and she's been doing a great job. All right. Initially, when to open the restaurant, I had to get Russell Lee, he's the owner of Green Fire Pizza. I had to put a white guy in front of me to open it. I'm trying to get him. I was the one that funded everything because the city people down there wouldn't allow me to get the restaurant open.
Lord have mercy.
Right? So what I did was I had a white guy. So when they found out that I was the one that actually owned everything, then the issues came about. They started sending code enforcement every day at my properties. What happened was we're opening Social Vibes. Now this is 4501 Montgomery Street. That's 6 units. Social Vibes was gonna be a large 2,000 square foot restaurant, more like a sports bar type stuff where you could come in, you could eat, watch the games, and then have a drink and everything. There's nothing like it within several miles of the area.
That's true.
I had somebody that came in from downtown. He owns 3 or 4 bars downtown, and he came and did a whole survey of the area, and he said he has never seen a place where there's no sports bar or anything like that within the area. So he said it would be a good thing to do. And I said the reason I want to do it because everybody else within the area, Ardsley Park and other areas, have to actually go downtown or go on the other side of town or the south side just to go enjoy themselves and have food. So you're taking your money from the district to take it someplace else. So I said, I'm trying to cultivate business within the 5th district and create that. As a black man, I want to do that. So I reached out to my attorney, which is Pierre Eiffel at the time. And Pierre Eiffel and Russell, which is the owner of Green Fire, they did all the legwork. Went to the health department, went to the city, went to Judy Jones, everybody. We got to go ahead to use Cool Vibes as the commissary kitchen, which is because it's in the same building. There's no law or legal statute or order that states that you have to use unit A, B, C, D, or E in one building because it's the same building. So unit F was going to be the commissary for unit A and B. The health department passed that and everything. We started our build out, right? We got an architect to do everything, started build out. It's about $65,000. So now here comes the city needs to come in and do an inspection. They called Bernetta, Keisha, and Alicia to set up a meeting with my attorney and Russell and myself, and Wendy and myself with Shabazz. It was supposed to be at 10 o'clock one morning for her to come and take a look at the building and see what we're doing and have a conversation about what we're trying to bring to the area as a black business owner. And at 7:30 in the morning, I got a call from Bernetta Lanier saying the meeting is canceled, and I asked her why. She said, Shabazz says to cancel the meeting, this is her district, and she don't want them to be, have nothing to do with her district, and she's in charge. So they cancel the meeting. So we go in now and try to put the permit in for the restaurant to get the alcohol permit and get the restaurant permitted.
Right.
The people at the permitting department said they're not accepting any permits from us. So we thought that's strange.
Do
what?
How
are you not accepting permits
Do
for a
what?
commercial building? And it's a business, yes, a restaurant. They said we're not even accepting it. So I reached out to Keisha and I emailed everybody on city council. And Van reached back out to me and at the time said to me, because I told him straight up I ain't talking to Van, so I can't think what's going on. So Van said, after about 2-3 weeks later, Van said, put the permit back in. So we reapplied again, and then they accepted the permit then. Not sure what happened, but then they accepted it. Now, after they accepted the permit, for us to go in and do the process of getting the restaurant inspected and everything, they set up a meeting with Judy Jones, who was stopped by the property. And it was Judy Jones in the morning, so I sent my assistant to go take a look. Just, because it wasn't nothing major. It was just for her to come take a look. They ambushed us. Judy Jones came there with 12 other city people.
Yeah.
The police department, the fire department, health and welfare. When I tell you they came with 12 to 15 people, my staff was so shocked.
I know the feeling. I'm going through the same thing. Yep.
So she video recorded them and saved it on her phone. And when I saw it, I could not believe it. So I called them out of it. And I called out Shabazz on it. And I went live on called her on it because I said, this is wrong. So this is what she did now. After my attorney found a way to get the alcohol because there's an alcohol overlay in the 5th district.
Yes.
Now it's been going on for over 15 years. Now that's called prohibition. An alcohol overlay is a temporary, not permanent block, a temporary block on alcohol permits. And as the case is reassessed every year. She hasn't reassessed it. She's using some old things saying that, you can't have alcohol because it's crime. Now, let me say this. Down the street, 520 Wings, 2 blocks away, just got an alcohol permit. Ardsley Station, 2 blocks away, just got the alcohol permit. And every other restaurant that's in that district is getting the alcohol permit. And every restaurant on the other side is getting their permits, but nothing in the 5th district. And you can't say crime is different 1 mile away compared to crime now. It doesn't make sense. And there's no crime in the 5th district to give her that statistics. Anyhow, the fact that the city council can vote down anyone's liquor permit goes to show you that even if we want to get a permit for alcohol sales at a commercial district, which is zoned for it, it is zoned. They could simply say, we don't want no liquor permit for liquor stores and for convenience stores. They could say no, and they could allow restaurants to have it. Mm-hmm. We found out that we could have used our restaurant, Social Vibes, for 2,000 square foot to get the alcohol permit. When she found out that we found the loophole, she got mad. She sent code enforcement on our properties again to cite me and everything, and then, closed our meeting. Shabazz went to closed our meeting, called a meeting, not the public, not city council, called a closed door meeting, unbeknownst to me, and changed the square footage of the ordinance from 2,000 to 5,000.
Listen, JB.
Yes.
JB, I'm going to have to close out because I only have a few minutes left.
Yes.
But I get the picture, and I get the fact that they use code enforcement. But let me tell you something, brother. You're not by yourself. I've been going to court with code enforcement. Listen to this. For a year and 9 months.
Wow.
On my properties in West Savannah that I've owned for 30-some years and never went to court for code enforcement ever.
Yep.
And once we started fighting for the weeping time, myself and Pastor Gordon have been in court for code enforcement. Having said all that, I'm also going through that same situation down in Brunswick, where, listen to this now, the mayor in Brunswick his last name is Johnson. So Mayor Johnson in Brunswick had 70 police officers and about 12 or 15 code enforcement people and a staff of workers come and board up a building where I was helping homeless people.
Wow.
Now watch this.
Wow.
The building is a church. And they're telling me I can't house homeless people in a church.
That's wrong. That's
Okay.
that's a lie. That's a lie.
And I know it's a lie. We my thing is I take them to court just like you. You and I are two black men who have the mindset and the resources to put their feet to fire. And on top of that, I believe, and I watched you do some things with when they was messing with you about the homeless man and everything down there by your restaurant. How wrong that was. How they surrounded that place with and with them bullying tactics. And your representative was supposed to walk up in front of them and send the police and everybody else packing on your behalf because that's supposed to be your representative from the city, voted for and sworn into office. And we're going to have to make sure this round, and we only got less than 6 months, that we get people who are going to treat us better in the future than they have in the past. I'm running out of time. I'm going to give you an opportunity for a closing remark. JB, you there? Okay, I've lost him, but I thank God for him coming in like he has. That was good information. Okay, that's Dr. Doc.
Yes, sir. I'm.
Go ahead. You can say something. I'm still on. Cut your.
Okay, because I'm calling in because of JB with Vibes and being president of the Fowler Park Neighborhood Association.
Yeah, I knew. I heard what.
We have an overlay on Montgomery from Victory Drive to Duran.
Yep.
And we had to fight very hard for when we worked on that overlay, it included no alcohol with restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and one thing in Dr. Shabazz defense, she called and she tried to get me to get the people to go along with allowing him to have it because he was a restaurant. And I told her if we allowed him to do it, then that meant that we would have to allow the others that have been petitioning trying to have it again. And so we still want we're not trying to stop anybody from having a business. We're not trying to stop anybody from having an income, but we were having a lot of problems with crime.
Well, I think what we're going to do, Dr. Jones, is what we're going to do is sit down. What we're going to do is sit down because I see both interests. And, of course, you know I'm in the 5th District. I'm right around the corner from both issues. So, cut your sound down on your phone, Doc. There you go. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close out because I'm over my time and I'm supposed to be over at Bernetta's thing. But I thank God for the lively discussion. And I did want to squeeze in that thing about the fact that these people are just taxing us into a situation where they can give out all the money they want. Lastly, I want y'all to hear this one fact, because Tell It Like It Is full of facts. On the last report for the mayor's fundraising efforts, they have to do quarterly reports, I believe. Mayor Johnson has received or taken in more than $350,000 with 6 months to go in the campaign. Over $350,000. These folks that he's been making rich are trying their best to get him back in so he can keep making the rich folks richer and the poor folk leave. They're pricing us out of Savannah. At no point in time in the history of Savannah has any candidate raised probably more than $150,000 running for the mayor. And he's already raised more than $350,000. with 6 months to go, and your fundraising efforts usually go up faster. Now, but the African American community will get exactly what they're willing to pay for. We've not been willing to support our people collectively. I'm not me now, because I'm going to do it. And when I say I'm going to do it, I'm talking thousands. I'm not talking hundreds. But those of you who can do hundreds, tens, fifties, give something to these campaigns. Give something to these people who are trying to get in position to protect our communities, protect our heritage, to protect our future in this city. The city of Savannah is going to explode economically. The question is, will we be here to enjoy the benefit thereof? Or will the African American majority, and which is the majority still of the city of Savannah, be displaced by not regentrification? That's a bad word to me. If you break it down, that means the people coming back to take over Savannah are the gentry, and the people who are being run out are not gentle ladies or gentlemen. But I call it economic resegregation, because it's going to be all white based on the fact that black folk can't afford it. We need to elect Keisha Gibson Carter, Robert Bryant, Dr. Robert Bryant, Rashida Edwards to take Keisha Gibson Carter's post, Alicia Miller Blakely, Bernetta Lanier. We need to elect at least those 5 or 6 people. And I'm going to break a little bit of a news. We also need to elect, from what I can feel, Mike McCann, white fella out in the 6th District, to replace Curtis Purdy. Now, we're going to announce 2 more candidates soon. One will be running for the seat held now by Nick Palumbo, and one running against Dietrich Leggett, who should be easy to beat. And we also have Todd Rhodes. So we already have 6 or 7 people that we believe will win. But we want to run the table this time. It's just that simple. I supported Dietrich Leggett running for the seat he's in. I believe the first check ever written for his campaign was written from my checkbook. From the day he was elected to this day, Dietrich Leggett and I have not had another conversation. We talked before. Amen. Let me, in fairness, say, Mr. JB says, ma'am, it's illegal. Dr. Jones, it's illegal, and we have plans already in place to sue the city and anyone that is blocking us. Well, don't threaten to sue, Dr. Jones. Don't do that, Tess. That's a mistake. Dr. Jones and Dr. Shabazz, it's what's wrong. It's what's wrong with black folks. No. I just proposed that we sit down, by the way, and for you to say Dr. Jones is what's wrong with black folks, just based on the fact that she's not in favor of you with this district, is untrue and unfair, by the way. You do own the property, and we do want to support each other, and she said so. And you're threatening, Mr. JB. You guys had your time, I'm coming. Well, you probably don't want to adopt that tone. Just as advice from an old man. Let's try to get together and work together. But anything you say disparaging about Dr. Jones, who's borne her burden in the heat of the day and protected that community without compensation, is misplaced. And let me just say it in plain language. I will protect Dr. Jones with all I got. I am the Reverend Dr. Leonard Small, pastor of Litway Missionary Baptist Church. As we close out, I want to remind you we'll be back on the same platform in the morning, starting at 10 o'clock with our Sunday school, and at 11:15 to 11:30 with our regular morning worship service. God bless you and keep you as always in our prayer. And I do appreciate the opinions, JB included. So don't be discouraged. Don't think that we don't appreciate your participation. Thank you. God bless you. I'm out.